The sun hung low in the sky, casting golden rays over the small town of Willow Creek. Children played in the streets, laughter ringing out like music. Lieutenant Sam Carter was enjoying an afternoon off, sipping coffee on his porch, thinking about the quiet life. He was just about to drift into a daydream when a deep rumble echoed overhead. Looking up, Sam saw a shadow stretching across the ground. He squinted. What on earth could that be? The sound grew louder, drowning out the birdsong, and the shadow turned into a monstrous spacecraft descending through the clouds. Whoa, he exclaimed, jumping from his chair. What the hell is that? He dashed toward the center of town where people had gathered, some pointing, others staring in disbelief. The enormous ship landed with a thud, sending vibrations through the earth. The crowd was a mix of awe and terror, their expressions a spectrum of fear and curiosity. Sam, get the troops, shouted Chief Martinez, his voice rising above the gathering murmurs. On it, Sam replied, breaking into a sprint toward the nearby military camp. He gathered his squad and quickly briefed them on the situation. You think they're hostile? Private Logan asked, anxiety etched on his face. Only one way to find out, Sam said, determination in his tone. We can't show fear. We approach with caution. The group moved forward, weapons drawn, heart rates high. As they reached the edge of town, the ship's doors opened, releasing a cloud of vapor. From the mist emerged a solitary figure, a woman, but not like any human they had seen. Her skin glowed green under the fading sunlight, and her eyes shimmered like emeralds. Hostile, shouted Sergeant Diaz, raising his weapon. Hold, Sam commanded, stepping forward. Let me talk to her. The alien woman raised her hands, her slender fingers extended. I am Alicia of the Kaldar. Lower your weapons or there will be a misunderstanding. Sam felt the weight of her gaze. What do you want? He asked, his heart pounding. I came for war, she declared, her voice melodic yet firm. But something tells me your stories are worth hearing. Stories? Sam echoed, lowering his weapon slightly, sensing an opportunity rather than immediate danger. Yes. Your broadcasts have intrigued us. We desire knowledge of your kind before any conflict arises. Sam looked back at his squad, who shared uncertain glances. Can you really talk? What will happen if we refuse? Your refusal would lead to something I do not desire. But if you allow me to learn, perhaps we can avoid, she hesitated, confrontation. Okay, Sam said, wavering yet intrigued. But we need to talk somewhere private. And no weapons. Alicia pondered for a moment, then gestured toward the forest at the edge of town. Lead the way. As they walked, tension remained palpable. The townsfolk watched as their soldier led an alien woman, uncertain of what might come next. When they reached the grove, surrounded by tall trees, Sam finally felt a bit calmer. He motioned for the others to stand down. Now, let's start over, Sam said, trying to give the situation some semblance of normalcy. What do you want to know? Alicia tilted her head. Tell me about storytelling. You humans seem to speak in narratives. Sam chuckled, taken aback. Wow, right to the point, huh? Storytelling, it's how we connect, share experiences, and make sense of life. We tell stories of bravery, loss, joy, almost anything that shapes our existence. Interesting, Alicia replied, her eyes lighting up. Minds are intertwined through tales. Do you have one to share? Sam thought for a moment, then began. All right, here's one. Long ago, in ancient times, there was a hero named Albion. He faced challenges no man could imagine, and though he seemed invincible, he had to rely on the power of friendship to overcome the darkness. He wove the story intricately, gesturing with his hands, his passion igniting the atmosphere. Alicia listened intently, her expression shifting from curiosity to fascination. Do you believe in destiny? She asked suddenly. Destiny? I'm not sure, Sam replied, pausing. We make our own choices. Our paths are shaped by those decisions. Choices, Alicia repeated as if tasting the word. In my world, choices also define our fates. But many of my people prefer tradition over personal choice. That's tough, Sam replied. But stories can break those traditions. They can give people courage to change. Alicia smiled faintly. Then share another story. Encouraged, Sam continued with tales of explorers braving the unknown, of ancient civilizations rising and falling, and of love transcending barriers. As he spoke, he caught glimpses of connection, the flicker in Alicia's gaze, her responses punctuated with laughter and intrigue. Your world is filled with profound contrasts, Alicia remarked. It almost makes me reconsider our purpose here. Sometimes I think that's the beauty of it, Sam said, leaning slightly closer. The struggles, the victories, they all become part of who we are. As their conversation flowed, an electric energy crackled in the air. Sam noticed the way Alicia's skin glowed softly in the dim light, almost as if it responded to their shared emotions. Without thinking, he reached out to brush a strand of her hair behind her ear. That's a beautiful sentiment, Alicia said, her voice dropping to a whisper. What if I told you we could create a story together? Huh? Together? Sam asked, surprised. Yes, our two worlds blending not through war, but through understanding, she replied, her expression sincere. Maybe we can, Sam said slowly, a grin creeping onto his face. But let's take it one campfire at a time. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with deep crimson and violet hues, the two of them sat around the flickering fire, an unlikely duo forming a bond forged in stories and shared moments. In that secluded grove, the seeds of a profound relationship were sown, one that neither had anticipated as a warship loomed overhead. Ready for another tale? Sam asked, his heart racing, not from fear but from the thrill of an unexpected connection. Chapter 2: Campfire Connections. The embers of the campfire crackled as twilight wrapped the grove in a tranquil embrace. Lizards scuttled in the underbrush and the soft sounds of the forest created a serene backdrop. Sam leaned back on his elbows, feeling more at ease than he expected. Across from him, Alicia mirrored his position, her vibrant eyes reflecting the fire's glow. Your stories are enchanting, Alicia said, breaking the peaceful silence. The way you weave the characters, their struggles, each tale carries its weight. Sam chuckled. Thanks. I guess storytelling comes naturally when you've grown up surrounded by older generations passing down tales. What about you? Do you have stories about your culture? Alicia's expression shifted from amusement to contemplation. Yes, but they come from a different place. Our stories often focus on duty, sacrifice, and the collective rather than individual experiences. Collective? Sam asked, intrigued. How does that work? Each of my people is connected through a shared narrative, she explained. When one of us faces a challenge, the community carries that weight together. It's not just one hero but a multitude of voices. I get that, Sam replied, nodding slowly. In a way, it's beautiful. But do individuals get to shine, too? Only if they follow the path laid out for them, Alicia remarked, her tone thoughtful. If they deviate, they risk being disconnected. Sounds a bit restrictive, Sam commented. What happens if someone wants to break free? Alicia hesitated, her brow furrowing slightly. Tradition is strong. It can be difficult to choose your own path. Sam leaned forward, his curiosity piqued. Maybe I can help you understand what individual storytelling means. Would you like to hear another story? Yes, Alicia replied, her eyes brightening with interest. All right, let's try something different, Sam said, clearing his throat. This one is about a daring explorer named Lyra. She lived in a time filled with uncertainty where dangers lurked in every corner of the world. Alicia didn't break eye contact as Sam animatedly described Lyra's adventures. He illustrated moments where she faced terrifying beasts, navigated treacherous landscapes, and ultimately learned about herself. What's fascinating, Sam continued, is how Lyra not only fought against the obvious challenges but also battled the expectations placed upon her by her society. She dared to dream beyond what was expected of her. Alicia raised an eyebrow. Did she SD? Yes, at great cost, Sam admitted. But that sacrifice is what made her story resonate through the ages. It wasn't just about survival, it was about forging a new identity. Alicia sat back, absorbing his words. You really believe that stories can shape destinies? Absolutely. Stories can guide a person's choices, spark revolutions, or even build bridges between people. They're powerful. Alicia looked contemplative again, and Sam couldn't help but ask, what about you? Do you have a favorite story from your world? She said, her brow furrowing. There's one about the Great Convergence. It tells how our ancestors unified after many years of conflict to create a thriving society. But it lost its magic over generations. Lost its magic? Sam asked, intrigued. How so? Well, the story became ritualistic. Now, we simply recite it during our ceremonies without understanding the emotions behind it. It has become a tale of duty rather than a tale of unity. That's kind of sad, Sam replied, frowning. If the heart of the story is lost, what's the point? Exactly, Alicia sighed, her shoulders slumping slightly. I sometimes wonder how I could bring that spirit back. Have you ever thought about crafting your own story? Sam suggested. About your journey, your experiences? Alicia bit her lip, looking hesitant. I don't know. It seems self-indulgent. How can my voice matter in a culture where we prioritize the collective? Because your experiences make you who you are, Sam insisted. Your perspective matters, Alicia. It's how you contribute to the collective by offering your unique story. She looked thoughtful, then nodded slowly. Perhaps I could try. But where does one even begin? Start with what you know, Sam advised. Tell the story of your arrival here. How you chose to come to Earth instead of heading straight for war. Alicia chuckled, though a hint of seriousness lingered. I suppose it's a humorous tale. It was such a stark contrast to what I expected. Then let's hear it, Sam encouraged, his face alight with curiosity. Taking a deep breath, Alicia began, her voice flowing like a gentle current. Initially, I was excited and filled with purpose. I imagined conquering and asserting my people's strength. But as I descended upon this planet, I overheard snippets of human broadcasts about love, laughter, and the beauty of storytelling. It intrigued me. Really? Sam said, leaning forward with a grin. So you came for war, but found us talking about campfires and stories? Precisely, she said, a smile breaking through. I hesitated. I wanted to know what this world was truly like. I'm glad you did, Sam replied, his heart warm. You could have just shown up guns blazing, but instead you chose to explore. Alicia's expression turned serious again. But I fear my people may have other plans. They are waiting for my report. Who says you must stick to those plans? Sam urged, feeling a surge of determination. You have a voice now, and if you learn about us and share those stories, maybe you'll change their perceptions. Alicia smiled softly, touched by his belief in her. You're quite persuasive, Lieutenant. Just Sam will do, he replied, a hint of warmth in his voice. We're storytellers now, after all. Alicia placed her hand on her heart where the bioluminescence pulsed softly. Then let our story begin right here, even if it's just two voices around a campfire. Exactly, Sam said, excitement twinkling in his eyes. And each night brings more tales, more trust. They spent hours sharing stories, revealing pieces of their worlds. They discovered tensions, dreams, and the desires that lay beneath their cultures. As stars blanketed the night sky, Sam and Alicia knew they were crafting a narrative, one that could bridge the rift between their worlds. In that grove, surrounded by flickering flames and the whispers of nature, they were not just an alien and a human but two storytellers beginning an extraordinary adventure together. Chapter 3, Borders of Trust. As the sun rose the next morning, a soft golden light spilled into the grove, illuminating the remnants of their campfire. Sam stirred, stretching his limbs and feeling a sense of renewed energy. The previous night's stories lingered in the air like an enchanting melody. He glanced across the small clearing and saw Alicia still asleep, her features relaxed and serene. Wake up, dreamer, Sam joked, brushing dirt off his uniform as he stood. The day waits for no one, especially not an alien princess. Alicia stirred, her eyes fluttering open, revealing a playful glimmer. Princess? You flatter me, human. What? You don't like the title? Sam teased. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a leader even if it's over a warship? Alicia rolled her eyes, propping herself up on her elbows. Leadership often comes with burdens. I find comfort in being merely Alicia, storyteller, and student. Her luminous skin caught the early sunlight, casting a warm glow around her. All right, Alicia, the storyteller, Sam grinned. How about we explore the surrounding area today? I could use a break from my soldiering routine, and you could use the fresh air away from the ship. Exploration sounds delightful. Alicia replied, her excitement palpable. But what shall we explore? Do you have a treasure map or hidden spots? Sam laughed. No treasure maps, but I do know some interesting places nearby. Let's hit the trails. They began their trek through the forest, surrounded by towering trees and lush undergrowth. Birds chirped overhead, weaving a melody of nature that accompanied their footsteps. As they walked, the tension that initially characterized their first encounter eased into comfortable camaraderie. So, Sam began, glancing sideways at Alicia as they navigated the dense foliage. What's next for you? Are you still expected to return to your people after this? Alicia hesitated, her expression thoughtful. I'm expected to report back soon, and I fear they will want to continue preparations for invasion, especially after witnessing my initial failure to conquer. But I want to show them that there is more to understand. More to understand? Sam responded, curiosity bubbling. You think they'll listen? I hope so, she said quietly. But it's difficult to challenge centuries of tradition. How about this? Sam said suddenly. When you report back, tell them the stories we've shared. They might change their minds. You're a bridge between our worlds now. Alicia looked at him, eyes wide. You really believe I can do that? Absolutely, he assured her. Your experiences with me, you'll make them see that we're not just a threat. We have tales worth telling. Alicia smiled, a flicker of hope lighting her eyes. Perhaps I will also share your name, Sam. You may become part of our narrative. As they reached a clearing, Sam spread his arms wide. Behold, the Crystal Pond, one of the most beautiful spots in Willow Creek. The pond sparkled like diamonds under the sun, surrounded by willow trees that drooped gracefully over the water's edge. Alicia gasped, staring in wonder. It is stunning. Almost otherworldly. Right? Let's take a closer look. They approached the pond, the surface reflecting their images as they knelt beside it. Sam tossed a small pebble into the water, watching as ripples expanded outward, distorting their reflections. Every action has a ripple effect, Alicia mused, her voice earnest. Is this lesson as human as it sounds? Absolutely, Sam replied with a smile. The choices we make, not just for ourselves but for others, create waves in the lives around us. Alicia nodded thoughtfully. I must take that lesson back to my people. They need to understand that actions have consequences beyond their own. They spent the afternoon sharing more stories, their laughter echoing over the water as they took turns splashing one another. The atmosphere lightened as trust solidified between Alicia and Sam, materializing in playful banter and genuine connection. That was low. Sam gasped, wiping water from his face after Alicia had splashed him unapologetically. You need to lighten up, Conqueror. Alicia teased, her laughter infectious. All right, Sam said, feigning seriousness. But it's only fair I get my revenge. Alicia squealed in surprise as Sam lunged toward her. Laughter erupted as they engaged in a playful splash war, the weight of their previous conflicts dissolving into nothingness. Hours later, they lay side by side on the grass, out of breath and soaking wet, under the blanket of twilight. You have an intriguing way of disarming enemies, Sam, Alicia remarked, glancing at him with newfound admiration. No need for weapons when we have stories, he replied lightly, or water fights. The moment hung in the air, a tranquil pause before the floodgates of conversation once again opened. You know, Sam began, his voice thoughtful, I never pictured sharing moments like this with an alien. Alicia turned to him, a soft smile gracing her lips. I never imagined I'd feel this way with a human. You were different from my expectations. What were your expectations? Sam queried, raising an eyebrow. That humans are aggressive, stubborn, and quick to violence, she stated. But you were open, willing to share, and kind. It's disarming. He chuckled. Don't spread that around, it might ruin my tough-eye reputation. Oh, I wouldn't dream of it. Alicia laughed, playfully nudging his side. Then her voice turned serious. But I do feel something different here. Something that could be significant. What do you mean? Sam asked, the shift in her tone grabbing his attention. It's hard to put into words, but my mind is racing with possibilities, she admitted, looking away for a moment as if gathering her thoughts. In this short time, I've learned so much more about yourself and about humans than I ever anticipated. Same here, Sam replied, his heart quickening. It's strange to think we're sitting here, bringing our worlds together over stories and laughter rather than fighting. Perhaps there is a new path we can carve, Alicia suggested delicately. A way for our civilizations to engage in understanding instead of hostility. I really hope that's possible, Sam said, his eyes earnest. Maybe there's a future where our stories overlap and we can work together. Alicia's expression grew softer. Perhaps through your guidance, those stories can reach my people, changing their perception of humanity forever. As the stars began twinkling overhead, Alicia's and Sam's hearts aligned in their aspirations. They knew they were crafting a narrative that felt larger than either of their individual journeys, one that could weave together two disparate cultures. Alicia nodded, excitement dancing in her eyes. But first, how about a quick contest to see who can come up with better spins on traditional tales? Challenge accepted. Sam laughed, and for the first time, neither of them was thinking about the borders separating their worlds but rather the stories that could bring them closer. Chapter 4, Uncharted Territories. As the days turned into nights, Sam and Alicia spent nearly every moment they could together, weaving stories, laughing, and discovering more about each other. They'd established a routine of evening campfires where they shared tales from their respective worlds. One bright morning, as the first rays of sunlight kissed the earth, Sam decided it was time for an adventure. Alicia, he called, his voice breaking the tranquil morning stillness. Are you ready for something a little different today? She peeked out from the tent they had set up, her eyes wide with curiosity. Different? Are we not telling stories by the fire again? Not exactly. Today we explore the woods further. I want to show you the cave paintings just a little way from here. They're ancient and tell the story of our people. Alicia straightened up, her interest piqued. Cave paintings? I would love to see them. Do you think they carry the weight of your history? Definitely, Sam said, glancing toward the horizon. Let's get moving before the sun climbs too high. As they ventured deeper into the woods, the trees grew denser. Birds flitted above them, their songs harmonizing with the gentle rustling of leaves. The air was crisp, invigorating, and Sam could feel the excitement of exploration bubbling within him. So, what kind of stories do these paintings tell? Alicia asked, her curiosity apparent. They depict the great hunts, the gatherings, the rituals, and moments of triumph and defeat, Sam explained. Every image encapsulates a tale of survival and unity among my people. Unity, Alicia repeated, pondering the word. It must have been significant for your ancestors. Do you think those stories shaped the community's identity? They definitely did, Sam replied, nodding. Each generation learns from the past. It brings us together, much like our storytelling now. After a little while, the trees finally parted, revealing a wide entrance to a dark cave. Sam glanced back at Alicia, who gazed at the mouth of the cave in awe. Here it is, he said. The entrance to our history. Are you ready to step into the past? Lead the way. Alicia replied, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. They entered the cave, sunlight streaming in behind them until the light began to fade. Sam pulled out a small flashlight from his backpack and flicked it on, illuminating the cavern's damp walls. Wow, Alicia whispered, eyes fixed on the intricate paintings sprawled across the stone. These are incredible. They feel alive, like they're reaching out to tell their stories. Exactly, Sam grinned. Each painting reveals emotions and experiences. Look at that one. He pointed at an image of a group of hunters surrounding a large beast. That represents our first successful hunt, a moment that solidified unity. And what about that one? Alicia asked, stepping closer to a depiction of people dancing around a fire, their joyous expressions visible even in the dim light. It looks like a celebration. That's the harvest festival, Sam replied. A celebration of community and gratitude for the earth's gifts. We honor our connections with nature and each other. Alicia studied the painting for a while. I see how vital these moments were. They seem to share a sense of belonging, a bond. How do you create a similar bond now? I think it starts with sharing stories like we're doing now, Sam answered. It's about understanding our past and using that to build a stronger future together. Alicia placed a hand on the wall, feeling the texture beneath her fingers. Your ancestors left behind a legacy of stories. Do you think they would accept an alien voice among them? Why wouldn't they? Sam replied, pausing. If they saw how far we've come, how willing we are to learn from one another, they'd be proud. I think they'd welcome you with open arms. A contemplative silence settled between them as they absorbed each painting's meaning. Then Alicia broke the stillness, her voice almost a whisper. I want to create something akin to these stories. I want the next generation of my people to understand the richness of individuality, not just tradition. Sam's heart raced at her words. That's an amazing goal, Alicia. Your people need to hear the stories that celebrate emotions, joy, fear, love. We're not just numbers or roles in a collective, we're individuals with tales to tell. Alicia turned to him, her expression serious. Can you help me? Help you? Absolutely. Sam replied, an eager grin spreading across his face. Let's craft a new narrative together. We can write something that weaves the best of both our cultures, a story that encourages others to see the world through new eyes. I would like that very much, Alicia said, her eyes sparkling again. And perhaps we could incorporate elements of each of our traditions into it, our win lives in unison. Perfect idea. Sam exclaimed. We could write about heroes from both our peoples. A tale where a human and an alien learn from their differences is ultimately what brings new understanding. Let's focus on showcasing the strengths of each culture, Alicia suggested animatedly. And in the end, they realized that collaboration yields greater wisdom. That's the spirit. And maybe we can highlight those moments where both characters have to face their fears. You know, like in real life. Yes. Alicia smiled, a brightness illuminating her features. But who will the characters be? How about we self-insert? Sam and Alicia taking on challenges together. He suggested, nudging her playfully. Perfect. We just need to think of our obstacles, Alicia said thoughtfully. What if we faced a natural disaster, forcing us to find solutions combining our strengths? Or an outside force that challenges our bond, pushing us to confront our differences, Sam added, excitement palpable in his voice. Maybe even a misunderstanding that leads us to question everything we've built together. As their ideas flowed freely, Sam felt an exhilarating sense of purpose. This was more than just storytelling, this was a chance to craft a legacy, something that could ripple through their respective cultures and break down walls. Suddenly, a low rumble echoed through the cave, breaking their concentration. Sam's eyes widened. What was that? Alicia looked around, her demeanor shifting. Maybe it's just a natural echo? No, that sounded like. Sam trailed off as he felt the ground tremble beneath them. Run! Alicia shouted, her instincts kicking in. They dashed toward the cave's entrance, adrenaline racing through their veins as the tremors grew stronger. Just as they reached the threshold, a loud crash erupted, sending rocks tumbling from the ceiling behind them. Keep moving, Sam urged, pulling Alicia along. As they burst through the exit into the daylight, safety enveloped them. They stumbled a few steps away to catch their breath, turning back to look at the cave. Dust and debris swirled around the entrance, but they had escaped just in time. That was close, Sam panted, glancing at Alicia, whose expression mirrored his relief. Too close, she responded, slowly regaining her composure. But we survived. Exactly, Sam grinned, the thrill of adventure still coursing through him. It makes our story more exciting. Yes, Alicia said, catching her breath. Together, we can face whatever comes next. Stories, disasters, anything. Agreed, Sam replied, clasping her shoulder briefly, their bond strengthened by the adventure. Let's continue creating something incredible. With the cave behind them and a new story waiting to unfold, they set off toward the horizon, ready to blend their cultures and face any challenges that lay ahead together. Chapter 5, A New Dawn. The sun risen high above the horizon cast a warm golden hue across Willow Creek, signaling the start of a vibrant day. Sam stood on the porch of his small house, a steaming cup of coffee in hand, replaying the excitement of yesterday's adventure in his mind. The tremors from the cave were still fresh, but more significantly, the momentum they had built with their storytelling was exhilarating. Thinking too much again? Alicia teased as she approached, her green skin glowing in the morning light. Startled, Sam turned to face her. What? Me? Never, he said with mock indignation, a grin stretching across his face. Alicia laughed, the sound like music to his ears. I can tell when you're deep in thought. What's bothering you? Honestly? Sam mused, leaning against the railing. I'm just excited about our story. We've crafted something special, and I can't wait to share it with others. Me too, Alicia replied, her expression shifting to one of focus. But I wonder, how will we present it to both our peoples? Will they listen? Why wouldn't they? Stories resonate. They help us understand each other, Sam replied, determination etched in his features. Plus, the way we created this one is a testament to our teamwork. Alicia smiled, but a shadow of doubt remained in her eyes. Do you think it's enough to change hearts? Let's make it a challenge. We'll gather everyone together. Your crew, my squad, and present it as a performance. Sam suggested, feeling invigorated by the idea. A performance? Like a storytelling event. Alicia said, her intrigue evident. Exactly. We'll act it out. With the right energy, we can make them see what we've experienced. Sam explained, his excitement palpable. Alicia's eyes sparkled with anticipation. That could work, but we need to plan the details. When can we arrange this? How about tonight? Sam proposed, glancing at the sun's position. We can set up by the old oak tree near the town square. It's a perfect spot for an audience. Tonight it is, Alicia replied, nodding resolutely. Let's gather our people. After a quick breakfast, they split up to organize their separate gatherings. Sam headed toward the military camp, where the soldiers were gearing up for a routine patrol. Hey, everyone, just a moment, he called, waving to gather attention. His squadmates turned, curiosity bubbling on their faces. What's up, Lieutenant? Private Logan asked, stepping forward. I've got a special event planned for tonight, Sam announced, a grin breaking out. An extraordinary storytelling performance featuring a very special guest. Guest? Who? Another soldier piped up. Alicia from the Calthar, Sam replied. We're teaming up to share a tale that blends both our worlds. I want all of you there. The soldiers exchanged intrigued glances. An alien storytelling session? Count me in, Private Diaz exclaimed, excitement radiating from her. Same here, chimed in another soldier. This is going to be epic. Sam felt a swell of pride at their enthusiasm. Great. We'll meet at the oak tree around sunset. Bring your A-game. Will do, sir, they called as they dispersed. Meanwhile, Alicia made her way back to the massive ship. She felt a knot of apprehension in her stomach. Would her people accept this cultural exchange? As she entered, she was immediately met by her fellow Calthar members, eyes flitting toward her with curiosity. Alicia, you're back, a female Calthar named Zara called, her emerald skin shimmering. What did you learn about the humans? Alicia smiled, hesitating for a moment before speaking. I've learned that their stories are powerful. They see emotions as a vital part of their identity. Zara's brow furrowed. But are they trustworthy? After all, they could be a threat. Trust is earned through understanding, Alicia replied earnestly. And I believe that if we share our stories, they will listen. I want to do a presentation tonight where we can showcase our narratives together. The mix of emotions rippled through the room. Some Keldar looked intrigued, while others wore expressions of skepticism. Do you really think that's a wise idea? A burly man with a deep voice interjected. We shouldn't show weakness. Strength is understanding our counterparts, Alicia countered, her voice steady. I believe they are more than just warriors. It's time we explore their perspective. As debates unfolded, Alicia felt her conviction rise. Join me tonight. You may find that our worlds can find common ground through sharing. Moments later, an agreement formed. We'll support your endeavor, Alicia, Zara declared. But we must approach this cautiously. Absolutely, Alicia agreed, her resolve strengthening. What matters is that we show them we want peace. As sunset approached, the townsfolk gathered beneath the great oak tree. The air was thick with anticipation, laughter and chatter echoing in the warm evening breeze. Sam stood by the tree, scanning the crowd. He spotted Private Diaz and others making their way toward him, cheerful and ready for the performance. You guys are here, he called, waving them over. Of course. We wouldn't miss it, Diaz replied with a grin. Where's the alien princess? Just then, Alicia appeared, stepping into the soft glow of the lanterns that adorned the area. Gasps followed her graceful entrance, her presence captivating those nearby. Good evening, everyone, Sam announced, excitement thrumming in the air. Tonight, we bring you a tale unlike any you've heard before, a combined story of humanity and the Keldar. Alicia nodded, stepping forward. We hope to present our narrative in a way that reflects who we are, individuals with dreams, fears, and stories to share. Sam glanced at Alicia before continuing. Let's begin. As they started the performance, they acted out their characters, weaving elements of both cultures into the narrative. Sam channeled an ancient warrior while Alicia became a daring explorer, their interactions filled with tension and discovery. This is exciting, one of the soldiers gasped as they watched Alicia confront a simulated challenge. As they reached poignant moments where the characters learned from their mistakes, the audience's reactions were visceral. Gasps echoed at critical junctures and murmurs filled the air. How do you feel about the prospect of connecting with the Keldar? Sam's character asked, addressing Alicia's portrayed role. I have always believed that hope stems from understanding, Alicia replied as her character faced a formidable obstacle that required collaboration. It was during the emotional high points that exuberant laughter broke through as the story took unexpected turns, showcasing the humor and cultural quirks of both peoples. As they reached the climax of the performance where the two characters faced their greatest fear, being alone, they shared a heartfelt exchange that resonated deeply with the audience. We are stronger together, Alicia said in her role, her voice echoing as she portrayed vulnerability. The audience was silent for a moment, captivated. Finally, the story culminated in a resolution that emphasized collaboration and unity, eliciting applause that echoed through the night. When the performance reached its conclusion, the audience burst into cheers and applause. Sam and Alicia caught their breath, looking at each other, exhilaration written all over their faces. You did amazing, Alicia exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. Right back at you, Sam said, a wide grin on his face. We made something special together. As the crowd began to mingle, the enthusiasm was infectious. Soldiers and townsfolk alike approached Alicia, fascinated. Can you tell us more about your ways? One eager soldier asked. Absolutely, she replied, her confidence growing. And I'd love to hear more stories from your people as well. The night turned into spontaneous storytelling, with everyone sharing pieces of their histories. Sam watched as Alicia flourished, her vibrant spirit connecting with those around her. Within the laughter and conversations, Sam felt something shift both in the atmosphere and within himself. Their combined stories had ignited a spark that might just change everything. As the stars twinkled above, the two of them stood side by side, witnessing the remarkable scene they had created. Sam turned to Alicia, feeling gratitude swell in his chest. Looking at this, it feels like we are on the verge of something big. Agreed, Alicia said, glancing around at their new friends. This is how we break barriers through shared stories. May this be the first of many more, Sam added, their eyes meeting with hope for a brighter future. Together, they took a step forward, knowing that the dawn of a new chapter in their lives was just beginning.